Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our home in East Providence, Rhode Island on this Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. And this show starts right now. What's good, everybody? It's good on MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Welcome to Wednesday Night Madness. And, gentlemen, we're just going to dive right on in. You guys already know how we're going to start it off. NXT, and then followed by AEW. So we started off with a promo segment that was done by Carmelo Hayes, and basically, he really didn't explain himself much about what he did, why he did what he did to turn on Trick Williams. But let me tell you, man, if there was ever a time for somebody to get nuclear heat, and the way that they handled it, you could not have done any better than what they did. I thought it was a very effective promo. I thought it was really good for the most part. And Carmelo Hayes comes out looking amazing under the circumstances. Obviously, he is meant to be the heel. He always was a good heel. And now we're gonna get to see that if Trick Williams is gonna become the guy, the face, the baby face on NXT, then you need a perfect heel, and you could not have gotten a better guy in Carmelo Hayes. So I thought they did a really good job with it. It was super effective, simple and very effective. The crowd really gave him what he truly deserves, the boo birds, the disrespect, the attitude, and he brushed it off like it was nothing. Like you are nothing. He didn't give a crap about what you felt, didn't give a damn about what you said, didn't give a damn about anything, saying, I'm the real star, I'm the celebrity, I'm bigger than Trick Williams. I took him under my wing, and I made him who he is today. So, and basically, I thought it was as good of a promo that you could have done. Like I said, simple and effective. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it here, MF. He didn't say much at the start, but he eventually did cut his promo later in the night. The heat of the crowd combined with a strong promo from Melo to create a powerful moment on the back of his unforgettable turn. The presentation showed who the A champion will be as a heel going forward. For a few small criticisms, the explanation ran a little long, and some of the lines fell into a familiar WWE cliche. Still, this remains clearly NXT's top angle, and it may be difficult to keep these two from coming to blows before Stand and Deliver. The crowd did not let Melo speak in silence at any point in this promo. Melo admitted to attacking Trick in October. Carmelo pulled the classic heel trick of playing Trick's music before telling everyone he was in the hospital with Booker T. He pulled a Shawn Michaels from that Go Home Raw in 2005 with Bret Hart in Montreal. So we all remember how that turned out. So just a fantastic heel promo from Carmelo Hayes. And Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, Stand and Deliver. You can make the argument. Does it need the title? Does it not need the title? I know Bullock says it doesn't need the title, but in a sense, I kind of feel it does. I mean, we got a Roadblock event coming up March 5th. So you never know. We could run back Ilya and Carmelo once again. So think about that for a minute. And I could see Melo winning the title and then possibly dropping it to Trick Williams at Stand and Deliver. Just my thought. But other than that, fantastic heel promo, segment of the night, no question about it. So, Michael Bullock, Carmelo Hayes, he had some explaining to do. And let me tell you guys, it was the FU Melo chants was so bad that WWE officials were scattered around the arena there and they threatened to stop the show and take it off the air if it didn't stop. They had to lay down the law. It was so bad.
Yeah, that was so bad for them. They, like you said, that it was getting to the point that they were threatening to stop the show. So eventually it stopped, but yeah, you want nuclear heat from Carmelo Hayes? You got it. And yeah, this was a fantastic heel promo. I mean, Carmelo Hayes, like you said, basically he was explaining himself, and I don't know if you noticed, Florio, during that segment, he did something that Shawn Michaels did back in 2005.
I mentioned it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. I wasn't quite sure if he did because I had to step away for a minute. But yeah, I mean, but Trick Williams is going to come back eventually and get his revenge. It's just a matter of when. And you know what? I could see that. I could see Hayes and Dragunov for the championship at Roadblock, and then maybe Hayes could win it, and then you get Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams for the title at Stand and Deliver. So, I mean, there's a certain number of things they could go about with this, but this was a fantastic heel promo from Carmelo Hayes, and yeah, you want nuclear heat on him? You got it. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to go right on in. We do have the first fight of the evening, as it was Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Malik Blade and Idris Onalfi. And when it was all said and done, it was Nathan Frazier and Axiom winning the match in a time of 16 minutes and 42 seconds. That is right, Anthony. I'm gonna say that one more time just so you understood that one. 16:42. Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeats Idris Onalfi and Malik Blade. So it is yours.
I'm not even gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna get it right out of the way. And if nobody agrees with me, there's something seriously wrong with you. Fight of the night. Hello, fight of the night here. Let's get that out of the way right now. This was a chaotic opening to the night with one tease promo turned into another that transitioned into a tag team bout. The fast-paced action in the ring only kept that tone. Nathan Frazier and Axiom are two of the best in NXT, and they have not missed yet as a tag team. Idris Onalfi and Malik Blade kept up and looked better than they ever have. All four men were working so hard that they were rolling through the picture-in-picture and pulled out a performance that could have stolen the show at Vengeance Day. This was a match that could set the foundation for the tag team division going forward. Both teams need to be in the conversation alongside the Dusty Cup winners, the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, for a future shot at Tony D and Stax. Frazier and Axiom are especially ready for a regular spotlight. Byron Saxton joined Vic Joseph on commentary. And there's nothing else really that has to be said about this match that hasn't been said already. I mean, insane spots, insane near falls, and everything else revolves around outside of it. But nonetheless, what an incredible match this was. 4 1/4, teetering on 4.5. This was an incredible match. This is the fight of the night for me. So there were some other good matches on here, but if I'm going to be honest with you, nothing came remotely close to topping this. Nothing. Perfect jump off, especially after that tense moment with Mello there. So there isn't anything else left for me to say on this. 4 1/4, teetering on 4.5. Michael Bullock, you got yourself one hell of a tag team division, man. Look at you. You got the family. You got Tony D and Stax running around with the tag titles. You got Corbin and Breaker, who won the Dusty Cup. You got Anafe and Blade, who have a very bright future ahead of them, but right now, you got to keep an eye out for Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Take a bow, my friend. That was one hell of an opener. Pay-per-view quality opener on free television. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely great work by them. 4.25, 4.5, fight of the night. I'm not even going to debate Anthony Foyer on that. What he said was spot on. I mean, and yeah, I mean, this tag team division in NXT is really good right now. I mean, with Nathan Frazier and Axiom, the Dusty Cup champs. I mean, you got the tag team champion. So, yeah, I mean, a lot going on right now. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So, it is yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 4.25, 4.5. This was amazing. This was a great fight. Not many times we can say that an NXT tag team fight has delivered, and especially on free TV. Hardly ever does it ever happen, but it did. Nothing more to say. Next up that we had was another promo segment by the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov. He came out. He addressed the elephant in the room. He addressed the elephant in the room about the Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams situation. He was interrupted. He was interrupted by Dijak of all people, and actually Mello also came out. So there was a lot going on here. It seems like Dijak wants a shot at the title. So does Mello. I mean, there's a lot going on here that could have, you could talk about, and we'll see how it plays out. But next up we had was Lexis King versus Riley Osborne. Lexis King winning the match in 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours. Really, in this match, if you really think about it, it goes like this. Riley Osborne was looking good. He had a good performance, but his mind was somewhere else. His mind was wandering over a very pretty baby girl. But you know better than anybody else. You gotta keep focus in the ring. You cannot get wrapped up with outside distractions. And unfortunately for Osborne, he got caught up in that, and it cost him because Lexis King got a big win.
Yeah, I'll give this about 1.5 on this one. I mean, it was a little too short, but yeah, that girl that good old MF Michael Fletcher was talking about was Thea Hale. I mean, Riley Osborne was looking everywhere for her, and he took his eye off the ball, and he ended up paying for it, and Lexis King took advantage of it. And yeah, Lexis King excuse me. I mean, yeah, Lexis King basically took advantage of the situation and gets a win. So yeah, so 1.5. Fletch, I mean, like you said, he took his eye off his opponent, and Lexis King, well, made him pay for it.
And you could notice during the match, everything was going that way. So prior to the match, Thea was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna try to cheer on Riley. Now, JC Jane was like, hey, wait, no. You make him chase you. You make him, I mean, it's nice if you do that, but if you really want him, you make him chase you. You make him force the issue. You don't stay back, stay pat, relax, stay in the back, don't come out. This is one of those times is that if you really want him to really, fall for you and everything else, sometimes you have to be the hunted. Let the hunter come to you. Unfortunately, like we said, Riley looked good in the ring. He had his fellow brethren from Chase University, but you could tell his mind was somewhere else. His mind was on Thea, and unfortunately for Riley, you made too many mistakes in the match that a veteran like Lexis King is not going to let you get away with that. That is almost like you're playing fire with fire. You know you're going to get burned at some point. He got burned, and it cost him. Dearly did it cost him in this match. So, obviously, they set it up. I guess there's going to be a date next week because it's the Valentine's. It's going to be the close to Valentine's Day episode. I think it's the 13th is when they're doing it. So it's the day before Valentine's Day. So supposedly there's a Valentine's Day thing coming up between JC and between Thea and Riley. That could lead to who knows what. But one thing is for sure, man. If you're Lexis King, hey, you don't complain, you don't whine. You're like, hey, too bad the boy had puppet dog eyes because I don't give a damn. Crown the king. That's all I say about that. Anthony Florio. Yes, it was 1 and 1.5. Lexis King gets a win. But Riley Osborne took his eye off the ball, and brother, it cost him big.
MF, there was just about nothing to this match. It was built over 2 months, yet the two got 4 minutes and never really got out of first gear. Lexis King has not impressed yet in NXT. With more spotlight, he has struggled to make an impact. His offense lacks flash, and he is not a fluid enough technical performer to make up for it. Riley Osborne is still struggling to sell himself as a unique star on the same roster as Nathan Frazier and Axiom. He just looks slow in comparison. His romance with Thea Hale has been cute so far, though. And afterward, Riley Osborne questioned Thea Hale about missing his match, but they refocused on their Valentine's date next week, and JC Jane promised to give Thea Hale the tip she needed. And JC Jane had warned Thea Hale to back off from Riley Osborne to still seem, playing hard to get. Okay, I get that. This led to her staying in the back for the match, and that's why. So that's a 1-star match for me. So had to be the man who tells it like it is here. So nothing more to say. Let's move on.
No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I think telling it like it is on this one actually was valid. So there's no argument I know there's no argument coming from me, and I know there won't be much of an argument coming from Michael Bullock either. I think we both could have agreed that,
no argument from me on this one.
Yeah. So next up we had was Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. Roxanne Perez winning the match in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Yes, Roxanne Perez gets a little measure of revenge. You would think that was definitely going to be the moment for her. Nice win. I'm not going to say that there was much in the way of the victory here, but it was good. It was good enough more than anything else. It was about a 2.5-star match at best because, look, Lola Vice has gotten better in the ring. But you're going against the Prodigy. And not only that, but a woman that felt that she not only would have won the women's title, she didn't win the title once. She should have won the title twice and got screwed over both times. So basically, the road is simple. She wants the belt back. And if I am La Valkyria right now, you better have eyes in the back of your head because the Prodigy is on the hunt for that belt. So, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, 2.5-star match. Roxanne Perez finally gets a little bit of a measure of revenge on Lola Vice, and now she can finally focus where her allegiance and her true testament has been lying on, getting back the NXT Women's title.
Absolutely. 3 to 3.25 stars. This was the biggest test to date for Lola Vice, and she made an impression. While she didn't showcase much new in her arsenal, she guided the action while never losing her conditioning in a longer bout. The next step for her is focusing on what she does best. She should lead into the striking game rather than using generic headlocks to slow the action. If she can find that balance, she should be back in title contention soon. Roxanne Perez needed this rebound win that should lead her back to challenging Lyra Valkyria. She remains one of NXT's best performers and has figured out her character work as well. Tatum Paxley's involvement was confusing, but likely makes complete sense in her continued efforts to support her champion. So, the crowd was relatively split in this match, clearly enjoying Lola Vice despite also supporting Roxanne Perez. Lola Vice countered the downward spiral and knocked out the Prodigy with a hip attack. This allowed her to take over a long stretch of the bout. And it's 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort here. Did Bullock Did Bullock lead off on this, or do I give it back to you, MF?
No, Bullock hasn't even touched it. It's his.
Okay, good thing. Okay, good thing I asked. So, so this was 3 to 3.25. Solid match. And guys, and Bullock, as I give it to you, but MF, I want you to hear this too. Tatum Paxley's acting as daffy as R-Truth nowadays, wouldn't you say? So, nothing more to say on that. So, 3 to 3.25 stars. Michael Bullock, your prodigy, gets her payback from Vengeance Day after Lola Vice cost her the women's championship that she had won in that match on a couple of occasions. But and now Roxanne can say, okay, Lola's out of my way now. Now I'm gonna focus on getting another shot at Lyra, maybe at Stand and Deliver. And if that happens, look for Roxanne to regain the title she never lost at that very event 1 year ago. But watch out for Tatum Paxley. She's acting as daffy as R-Truth nowadays.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, she is indeed that. So yeah, I'll give it 2.5 to 3 on this one. I mean, yes, Lola Vice has been getting better, but she still needs a lot of work if we want to take her very seriously. So, and like you said, because she was going up against Roxanne Perez here, so Perez gets some payback, and now hopefully she can now focus on the getting back the title that she never really lost. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So it's yours, Fletch.
Sorry. All right, I got it. Sorry about that. It was a nice little outcome, nice little win for Roxanne. So next up we was Lash Legend and Shakara Jackson representing Metaphor. They were going up against Ren Sinclair and Fallon Henley, and it was Metaphor. They win it. 5 minutes and 2 seconds was the time of the fall. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
While Fallon Henley looked dominant when she got her opportunities, Ren Sinclair still fell to Lash Legend's powerbomb. This bout fell into a familiar formula as the underdog Sinclair was isolated for most of it. Neither team has clear team chemistry yet, especially Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, whose offense is too plain. However, Legend does seem to be starting to put it together. Her offense is getting tighter, and she looks confident in action in a way she did not last year. As she gains confidence and Jackson finds her footing, they need to expand their tag team offense if they plan to work together for the long term. They could be a major asset to the women's tag team division. Ren Sinclair comes into WWE with immediate in-ring experience from her time before WWE. However, her character is not clicking yet. Fallon Henley deserves more than this after nearly breaking out in late 2023. And Legend and Henley had a tug of war over Jackson that led to Henley going throat first into the second rope. I mean, that's the only real highlight out of this match. So, about 2 to 2.5. That's the best I can go. So, not much more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2-star rating here. I mean, it could have been better, but it is what it is. So not gonna get too much into it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, like you said, it was all right. It was good for what it was worth, and there's really nothing more to add. So that does lead us to the main event of the evening. NXT champion Ilya Dragunov goes one-on-one with Dijak over what happened earlier in the evening. It was Ilya Dragunov winning the match in 12 minutes and 56 seconds. But as it goes off after the match is over, Carmelo Hayes runs in, attacks Ilya Dragunov, and was standing with the NXT title in his possession at the end of the show. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
What was the time of the poll?
12:56.
All right. Second best fight of the night. I'll give it about maybe 3.25. Maybe teetering on 3.5 here. But yeah, good win for Ilya Dragunov over a big guy like Dijak. But yeah, after the match, Carmelo Hayes attacks Dragunov and looks like he wants that NXT championship back. And so yeah, I mean, maybe Florio's thought could come into play. So we'll have to wait and see. So it's your Sledge.
It's very possible that could happen. There's no doubt about it. At the end of the day, they did exactly what it needed to be done. So, solid close to it. 3.5 stars. Anthony, go.
Yes. Second best fight of the night. 3.25 to 3.5 stars for this. While NXT could have afforded the wait and hype this one, it was unsurprisingly fantastic. These two went all out to sell a match that felt like it was for the NXT Championship. Few men on the gold brand have more chemistry than Dijak and Dragunov. They are also two of the best wrestlers on the roster, so this was an absolute knockout, especially as a TV bout without serious build. It seems like NXT is building to a triple threat at Stand and Deliver, which may be the safest approach to keep the NXT Championship picture at the center of the company, but it does delay the inevitable Mello versus Trick battle that we all need to see. The A-Champ was the star of the night, opening and closing the show. With 2 months before Stand and Deliver on April 6th, NXT needs to be careful to not do too much with him too quickly. After the hard fist in the earlier promo, Dragunov sold his nose as if it was broken for much of the bout. Dragunov caught the knee of Dijak on a Feast Your Eyes attempt. They began trading strikes that ended with a brutal big boot to the Mad Dragon. Thank you, Ava chants started near the end of this brutal battle. And Dijak hit an impressive springboard elbow drop, but could not get the pin due to the elbow injury he suffered at Vengeance Day. 3.25, 3.5 stars. Second best fight of the night. Overall review. Let's go.
All right, and it was a fine show. I mean, it was all right. I mean, there was only maybe a couple of bad things about it, but I'm not going to say it was completely bad. I thought they did a good job with it. I don't mind the body of work and everything that went down. So I'm probably going to give this about 7, and I'm going to be good with that. So, Anthony, it's yours.
7.5 for me. NXT kept the momentum going for Vengeance Day with an exciting night that opened and closed with battles that would have made an impact even on a premium live event. Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Malik Blade and Idris Anafi was one of the best tag team matches produced on the Gold brand in months. Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak went right back to what makes them special together. It was hard-hitting, brutally physical, and constantly enthralling, a.k.a. be a man fight. What else is new? However, no single man made a bigger impact than Carmelo Hayes. His promo on Trick Williams will be replayed countless times in coming weeks, and he set his sights right back on the NXT Championship. NXT has not had an angle this hot in years, perhaps even before NXT 2.0 began. That makes shows like this feel special. Unfortunately, the rest of the night was just so-so action. Roxanne Perez brought out Lola Vice's best while also showing she has more to learn. Fallon Henley is stuck in star building mode when she should be after the NXT Women's Championship. And Lexis King and Riley Osborne did not live up to the hype around both men. Still, the central focus of the episode was on point, making this one of the best shows NXT has produced in a while. 7.5 from me. So, Mr. NXT, you close it out, and then we'll get into what ended up being a loaded pay-per-view quality episode of AEW Dynamite tonight.
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I mean, yeah, there were some things I thought that could have been better, but all in all, not that much to complain about. So let's get into AEW Dynamite.
Asked for 5 more minutes, and Adam Hangman Page said, "Go screw yourself, kid. You ain't getting shit from me tonight," and was done. It's now been determined by Tony Khan that he has made it official. It will be at Revolution a triple threat for the AEW World Title. Swerve Strickland versus Adam Hangman Page versus the reigning champion Samoa Joe. Excellent match. Fight of the night. You can't get any better than that. Now, here's the problem I'm going to have. I cannot give this the 5 stars. The reason why is because we did not have a winner in this match. I'm not going to NA this because there's no way in hell this deserves an NA. I'm giving it 4 3/4 of a star. I'm not giving it the 5 because we did not get a winner. I'm not going to punish this for not getting an out. I'm not going to punish this match because we did not get a winner. It deserves a rating. It deserves the adoration. It deserves fight of the night. And I'm giving it as such. I'm not giving it 5. 4 3/4 is the right rating. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Unlike previous encounters, they approached this one a bit slower at first. They locked up and made a couple of clean breaks before Hangman took the first shot to initiate a brawl that brought them out of the ring. This was completely different from their other bouts. Instead of focusing on bloody brutality, they were trying to make this closer to a traditional match. They still did plenty of violent things, but in a much more controlled way. These two have developed fantastic chemistry as opponents, putting it on full display in this bout. They each had a handful of standout moments, but Strickland may have had a couple more. He really shined in this match. The crowd chanted, "This is awesome," as both men struggled to get to their feet after a near fall. This bout had callbacks to their previous performances, some exciting spots, and plenty of crowd participation. Both men tried several times to get the win, but the bell rang just before Swerve could get the pin, ending the match in a 30-minute time limit draw. The crowd booed the decision as Swerve grabbed the mic and asked for 5 more minutes. Hangman said no, but Tony Schiavone announced per Tony Khan that Tony Khan has now booked a triple threat match between Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at Revolution next month on March 3rd. Hangman seems on his way toward a heel turn. This was all done well and was the right booking decision to get the most longevity out of this feud. The announcers brought up a good point. Where does this feud go after a home invasion and drinking blood? The Phoenix crowd was fired up. The back body drop is countered more often than it's hit successfully. Swerve's pop-up headbutt looked great. Hangman's transformation into Magnum TA is almost complete. Swerve's counter to the sunset flip powerbomb was cool, but was probably supposed to be a hurricanrana instead of just a backflip. The DDT on the barricade looked rough. Swerve landed in a very precarious way, but continued to fight. The table collapsing was pretty funny because it happened so unceremoniously. 4.5 to 4 3/4 of a star. You can't give it the full 5 because we didn't have a winner. MF is absolutely spot on about that. I don't blame him one bit. I 100% agree with him. So, fight of the night, there's no question about it. Even though we had some other good matches on this show tonight. Like I said, pay-per-view quality show on free television. How about that? So, that's just a sample of what you're going to get come Revolution next month. So, there isn't anything else left for me to say on this. 4.5, 4 3/4, fight of the night. Michael Bullock, it played out exactly as I predicted it, and I'm sure a lot of people predicted it. No winner, and now it's going to be Joe, Hangman, Swerve, triple threat for the title at Revolution, as it should be.
Yeah, I think this is the right call, like you said. So, yeah, I mean, what a match this was, but 4.5, 4 3/4, and I'm with everyone here. I can't give it the full 5 because we did not have a winner, and I'm certainly as hell not going to give it an NA. No way in hell. I mean, this match was just too damn good for it to be an NA. I mean, I know there might be some people who will give it an NA because there was no winner, but how could you NA it after a match like this? Yes, there was no winner, but I still enjoyed it. So, and now it'll be Hangman Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and Samoa Joe for the AEW World Title at Revolution. So, nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, next up we had was a one-on-one match, as it was AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm, the timeless Toni Storm. She went up against Red Velvet in an eliminator match, and it was Toni Storm winning the match in 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Obviously, after the match was over, next thing we had was Deonna Purrazzo showing up, and then Toni went a little weird. Very weird. Kind of getting a scent of the virtuosa, as they say.
You expect anything less from timeless Toni Storm with the way she is?
Yeah, I guess I should have expected that, but I don't know. She was picking up on a scent of the virtuosa, Anthony Foyle, like a little puppy. Your thoughts?
Well, first things first, I got to get it out of the way. In the immortal words of good old JR Jim Ross, Toni Storm is as goofy as a pet coon. Let's not kid. And on top of that,
you think?
I got to ask. I mean, I don't know who's more daffier, Toni Storm or Tatum Paxley in NXT. Who's more daffier? I don't know.
That might be a discussion for another day there, Florio. Just saying.
Yeah, because they're both out.
They're both pretty daffy. We'll say that. Yes, they're both pretty daffy.
Oh yeah. So, but anyways, all kidding aside, well, small little backstory here. The virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo joined the commentary team to watch AEW Women's Champion Toni Storm take on Red Velvet in a championship eliminator bout. During a promo last week, Toni Storm referred to this match as a public workout. So Red Velvet was looking to prove she was more than a training partner. This was a very textbook bout early on, which was somewhat surprising given how Toni Storm has acted in all of her performances since adopting this gimmick. During the break and after we returned, Storm began playing up her character a bit more. Velvet began to make a comeback, but ended up tapping out to an ankle lock. The women's champion refused to release the hold until Purrazzo came into the ring. Luther got between them, and the segment ended with Toni Storm leaving without further incident. Red Velvet did a good job despite being in an unwinnable situation. And the only real significant highlight out of this was Red Velvet's standing moonsault looked great. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. outcome not in doubt. I had a feeling Tony Storm was going to win. And well, now, guys, and Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, it's now on to the AEW Revolution pay-per-view, where Tony Storm will defend the AEW Women's Championship against the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. And I'm already going on the record. Bold prediction. I think the virtuosa is walking out with that title come March 3rd. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, but Tony Storm's going to have some tricks up her sleeve. Well, basically in the form of what was the name of that butler again?
Luther, and we can't forget, and we also can't forget about Mariah May either.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Luther and Mariah May are going to be the wild cards in this match. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, I wanna say it. I want to see Deonna Purrazzo win it, but I got a feeling that Tony Storm is going to remain the champion just because of those two. So, but you never know. We'll wait and see. But 2.5 stars is my rating. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say except Fletch. I mean, this timeless Tony Storm just gets weirder and weirder. I mean, but I'm not going to say it in front of her face because who knows what the hell she'll do next.
She might paintbrush you, bro. She might grab.
Or she might take one of her shoes and just literally hit me with it.
Yeah, she always talks about watch out for the shoes, man. That shoe could be that I don't know what it is. It could be a stiletto. It could be any type of shoe. Watch out! A shoe could be flying up your dome if you don't watch yourself. So just saying. Yeah, you're right. I got nothing bad to say. I think it was a fine match. 2.5 stars. We move right on along. Next up, we had was Blackpool Combat Club members Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Claudio Castagnoli. They went up against Valdemar Jr., Mascara Dorota, and Heteroletico representing MCLL. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout in Mike.
Oh, I didn't hear you for some odd reason on my end.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
All right, we're doing the 6-man tag team fight. 14:45 was the time of the fall, and the Blackpool Combat Club gets the victory.
All right. Yeah, I thought this was a really good match here. I'll give this about another 3.5 to 3 3/4. I mean, yeah, the Blackpool Combat Club did a little bit of some retribution on the group there. So to me, there's really nothing more for me to say. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was actually an interesting matchup. I think it was kind of more of a. It was fine for what it was worth. I think a lot of people are not too mad about the outcome. And look, it seems like MCLL is being treated like the heels here. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work or not. But, it is what it is. It's fine. It was a good match. Anthony Florio, it's yours. Blackpool Combat Club gets the victory.
Despite this bout being a total clash of styles, all 6 men did a terrific job playing to their strengths while building little individual stories within the bout. Claudio Castagnoli ended up resorting to a low blow on Hechicero to get the win. But the BCC was immediately confronted by a few more luchadors from the crowd. BCC was joined by a few more members of the AEW locker room to keep it even. There was no big brawl, but it feels like we are working towards a CMLL versus AEW feud. a little turf war here, guys. Some of the moves Hechicero was doing don't have names yet. He's incredibly innovative. Dorado got tied up in the ropes during what was going to be a double arm drag, but John Moxley and Bryan Danielson helped him recover and save it. Hechicero's spinning hammerlock into a backbreaker was an awesome spot. The Mascara Dorada in this match is the 2.0 version of the character. The original was played by the man most AEW and WWE fans known as Grand Metalik. 3.5. Teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. Another one of the fights of the night for sure. Incredible match, and there's gonna be more of this come Saturday night on Collision. So, hey, I'll take more of this. I mean, I don't follow the CMLL as much as MF does. I know MF follows it religiously, just like what he does with the AAA and all that, but. I'll tell you, MF, for what I saw with those guys, I was thoroughly impressed. So, and I'm definitely here for it. CMLL versus AEW, especially the BCC. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. If we're going to get more matches like this, sign me up. Let's go. 3.5, teetering on 3 3/4 of a star. Nothing more to say. MF, let's continue on to another one of the big headline bouts on this pay-per-view quality Dynamite tonight.
Yes, it was. Konosuke Takeshita going one-on-one with Chris Jericho. Konosuke Takeshita winning the match in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. Another solid 3.5. You could even say an argument. You could even make an argument for 4. I'll give you it. Solid match, great battle, great fight. Takeshita gets another big win. Another massive win in his AEW career now. He just took down one of the former AEW World Champions in Chris Jericho. So a big moment for him. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
3.5 stars for this. This match had a strange pace, but it almost felt intentional, which made it even weirder. They told the story they wanted to tell and had some good spots, but nothing felt spontaneous until closer to the end. Sammy Guevara showing up to fight off Powerhouse Hobbs mid-match instead of at the end felt misplaced. In a somewhat surprising outcome, Takeshita scored the win with Chris Jericho's own Lion Tamer submission. Before this, Tony Khan revealed that Wednesday night, March the 13th, will be a show called AEW Big Business in Boston. And you noticed how Boston was spelled. I think we all know what's going to happen on that night. I'm just going to leave it there. The initial lockup and release looked weird. It's hard to explain how. It was like there was no power or struggle behind it. Takeshita is deceptively big because he's so proportional. He towers over Chris Jericho. Jericho wore Takeshita's mask when he jumped off the top turnbuckle and ended up almost missing. Takeshita completely. Does he think he's Io Sky? Blind dives are never a good idea. So, it's 3.5 stars for me. So, there isn't much more to say except Michael Bullock, Chris Jericho, or I should say Konosuke Takeshita, won the match. He beat Jericho with his own move. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, you never would have thought that that Konosuke Takeshita would win the match with one of Chris Jericho's own moves. But that's what we saw here, folks. And and once again, the Don Callis family gets one up on Jericho. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where we go from here from this. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. 3.25, 3.5. So it is yours, Fletch.
Yeah, so we now go into the main event of the evening, as it was Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin and Sting in a tornado tag team fight for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And the winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 20 seconds and new AEW Tag Team Champions, Darby Allin and Sting. They win the championships However, the moment was short-lived because the Young Bucks jumped them after the match was over. Anthony Florio, history made, unprecedented crowning as Sting and Darby Allin become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Second best fight of the night. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star, teetering on 4. They fought into the crowd within the first minute of the bout, so you could tell that this was going to be pure chaos from the jump off. There was no tagging in and out, and no count out. So this was all over the place, but literally and figuratively. The crowd was popping for every big spot and cheering for the baby faces whenever they had the upper hand. Ricky Starks removed the turnbuckle as Sting came in for a stinger splash and caused him to hit his chest on the exposed metal. He followed up with a spear, but still couldn't get the win. Stinger grabbed him and hit the Scorpion Death Drop to get the pin and win the tag team titles. As he and Darby celebrated with the tripod confetti, about time, the Young Bucks attacked them with baseball bats from behind. The show ended with Nicholas and Matthew Jackson standing in white suits covered in Darby Allin's blood. Has anyone asked Sting where he is hiding the fountain of youth? I cannot stress this enough. The man is 64 years old and taking bumps like he's freaking 30 all over again. My gosh, unbelievable. And next month, he's going to be 65. So he is approaching retirement age after all. Darby Allin and Ricky Starks are the perfect rivals for each other. This should be one of the feuds AEW revisits as time goes on to keep building their story. The way Big Bill caught and slammed Darby Allin after a tope suicida was incredible. And then Bill threw Darby Allin across the ring by his head in one of the wildest spots in the match. 3.5 to 4 stars. This is the second best fight of the night. Any other week, this would have been the fight of the night, but Swerve and Hangman, nothing was topping that. But this came pretty darn close to it. Now, before I give it to Michael Bullock, there is something I want to get off my chest here. I understand that you want to give heat, you want to build nuclear heel heat for Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. I completely understand that. I get it. But for the love of God, couldn't you have let these guys enjoy their moment? Winning the tag team titles, tripod confetti going off, and Sting's sons, his own sons were there. And you had to drag them into this too? I'm sorry. No, I am not going to stand for that. As someone who preaches honesty, morality, and integrity damn seriously more than anybody in this world, in this universe, I am absolutely positively not going to stand for it. So you couldn't let these guys enjoy their moment, winning the titles. I mean, yes, the nuclear heel heat, I get it. But you could have done it. You could have gone about it in a better. I mean, that was not the time and not the place for it. Should have let them enjoy their moment. And you had Sting's sons in there. They could have had a moment with Dad there. That would have been an amazing moment. But these two pretty boy D-bag punks had to come in. I don't give a damn if you're EVPs. No, absolutely not. Stuff like
I'm about to say something that's really gonna piss you off, Florio.
Wow.
I'm really gonna, and I don't give a damn.
If you're gonna
Get ready to see the next AEW World Tag Team Champions. I'm calling it right now.
Hate to say it, but you're right.
I think the Young Bucks are not only going to ruin Sting's goodbye, they're going to take the AEW World Tag Team titles away from Sting and Darby Allin. I hate to say it, but I think that's where we're going.
You're right.
I hope not, because I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. And to me, and of course, I've met Sting before. I mean, and this was like a long time ago. And look, this guy's going into retirement. And you want to send him out a loser? I mean, I get it. You're trying to build heat on him, or on the Young Bucks, or should I like to call them the young pretty boy douchebags that they are?
The young turds.
Yeah. So
Not the Young Bucks, they're the Young
I
Turks.
get what they're trying to do, but
So do I.
but then again,
Time and a place.
let's not forget when I said let's go back to another thing. I said Trish Stratus should go into retirement, into the sunset, but you obviously had to push Charlotte Flair, so maybe they're doing the same thing with
and don't forget
in
Kurt
AEW
Angle. Don't forget Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 35. They fed him to Corbin. Angle deserved way better.
But I'm just worried about if this does happen, the Young Bucks, they're gonna rub it in our faces and make us like it.
Nuclear heel heat. Nuclear heel heat times infinity.
Yeah.
They're gonna get more heel heat than The Rock, for goodness sakes. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And damn it to hell, Sting deserves way better. A man who's given over 35 years of his life for our entertainment and our enjoyment. In NWA, WCW, TNA, WWE, AEW, Japan, everywhere he's been.
Yep.
And a man who has given not only a consummate professional in the ring.
He's given his blood, his sweat, and his tears for over 30 years in wrestling. 35 years. And you want to send him out a loser?
I'm not standing for that either.
I'm sorry. I get where you're coming from, Fletch, but the thing is, it's about respect. And Sting has earned that for 35 years.
You damn right.
35 years.
Look,
and you're gonna have him go out as a loser. Look, I respect your opinion.
And
and
that's not a point here.
It's the thing. As much as I know you agree, Jushin Thunder Liger, his last match in Japan, he lost. The last time any of some of these other guys that they've wrestled, they've lost. I'm sorry. Ric Flair, for heaven's sakes, WrestleMania 24. Shawn Michaels. I mean,
they did him right. He lost, but they did him right.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. I get it. But in this day and age, it's a business. And that's exactly what it is. We could talk about, he deserves something better than, what he's getting, which I totally agree. He deserves a lot better. But I don't care if you're Triple H. I don't care if you're Tony Khan. I don't care if you're the new president for TNA Wrestling. I don't care if you're Hiroshi Tanahashi. Oh, by the way, the new president of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Well deserved.
Sometimes you make decisions that are not going to be popular with the fan base. At the end of the day, it's a business, and you gotta understand that better than any other freaking thing in this goddamn world. I get it. I sentimize. I understand where you guys are going with that. But in the grand scheme of things, you gotta think the long-term picture. And unfortunately, that long-term picture is the Young Bucks becoming the AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Hate to say it, but you're right.
As much as I know that was a little harsh and a little downright wrong for me to say, because I respect Sting.
We all do.
I'm just as big of a Stinger fan as you guys are. And Floyo knows how much I respect this man. So that's just the way it goes. But the thing is, as much as I know it stinks, I know Tony Khan's probably thinking the same thing. Is God damn it, I'm about to do something that I know is going to jeopardize my company. I know it's going to bring a lot of negative heat. And it's probably not good right now because we got WWE on the back foot right about now because of all of the stuff that happened to them on this road to WrestleMania. I have an opportunity to seize control for AEW back into the good and he knows he's about to give it up because he might be making a poor decision.
This is true. This is true.
So, I mean,
lot going
damn
on.
if you are. I mean, damn if you are, damn if you're not. Sometimes you got to make decisions. You got to do things that's not going to be popular. They're going to ruffle the feathers on quite a few people. I'm sorry.
And I know exactly where you're going, MF. I mean, if you want, I mean, we all know nowadays, professional wrestling, this is the biggest boom period in wrestling, probably since what, the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, of like
Absolutely
25 years ago.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
If you're a wrestling fan, what a time to be alive if you're a professional wrestling fan. I mean, you have a TV show on almost every night of the week, with the exception of Sunday, unless they do a Sunday pay-per-view. You got Raw on Monday. You got NXT on Tuesday. You got Dynamite tonight, Wednesday. For those of you who follow TNA Impact Wrestling like I do, you've got TNA Impact tomorrow, Thursday. You got SmackDown Friday, Rampage, if you're into that, even though we're really not. And then Saturday you have Collision and any pay-per-views that they want to throw in. And from the business standpoint, MF is absolutely right. I completely understand it. I mean, professional wrestling right now it's the most competitive it has ever been since the Monday Night War days 25 years ago. And it doesn't matter who you are, Triple H, The Rock, Tony Khan, the new president of TNA. Don't even get me started on that, because I'm still fuming over that, because Scott D'Amore got just as shafted as Cody did. And of course, Tanahashi with New Japan and the whole nine, and very well deserved after everything he's done for that company. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And all these guys, Tony Khan, Triple H, and the whole nine, they are going to do whatever it takes. They're going to do whatever it takes for them. They will do whatever they have to do to get to the top. And if it means at times lying and hurting other people, they are not going to give one single solitary F about it. And in my everyday life, I'm almost the same way. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get to the top. And I'll do whatever I can, because when you make it to the top, you can provide for your family. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. They all have families, and they want to provide for them. They want to take care of them. At the end of the day, this is their jobs. This is their lives. This is their families, for goodness sakes. So, and sometimes you got to bring the reality. So you may not like reality. I hate reality, but it is what it is. So they're going to do whatever it takes to make it. And if I came off a little harsh, I'm unapologetically me. If I came off as harsh, well, tough, you know what. So
that's. I did too. I'll openly admit it.
Nope.
I'm not. You can't take back what That's one of those things. It's just, I don't know. I hate to say it, but sometimes wrestling fans can be really soft nowadays. It's like I hate to say it, but the climate has changed. Sometimes you gotta be a little more. You gotta be a little more thicker skinned. You gotta have a little more thicker skin nowadays with certain things in wrestling. I mean, you can't walk on. Nowadays, people are walking on eggshells. I hate to say it, they are. Yeah. They're walking on eggshells, not knowing what to say, what to do. You don't want to anger this group. You don't want to anger that group. You don't want to anger, the IWC, because heaven forbid you do that. I mean, or else you're going to get freaking death threats, for God's sakes. I mean, no. I mean, and trust me, you thought the Ava thing was bad, and that's ridiculous, and that's sickening in itself. I wonder what the repercussions are going to be now for this new president for TNA after what just happened to Scott D'Amore. So I mean, I'll say this: a lot of the wrestlers in TNA are very upset tonight. They are not happy about what's going on. And that's another thing that we'll get into that at another day, another time. We're not getting there.
Yeah.
We're almost running a little late here, so
That's exactly.
we're just gonna try to finish this as possible as fast as we can. So,
but all in all is that was just something I had to get off my chest. I wanted to get that off my chest. So I feel, and hey, sometimes going on rants makes you feel better, and I damn sure feel better after that. So
agreed. All right.
You got your point across. We got our point across. So all I can say is, in the immortal words of Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith Show, let's nip it in the bud. Let's move on. 3.5 to 4, second best fight of the night. So
nothing more to say.
If it goes to Bullock, take it, or if it's the overall review, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it quick here. 3.5 to 4. I think we pretty much said what we had to say here. So let's just move right along, Fletch.
Overall review time, boys. So I believe this actually it goes to Anthony Florio. So Florio, after all that chaos and everything else, you're the one that starts off on the overall review.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Very good show here tonight. Tonight's Dynamite can definitely be classified as a strong episode, both in terms of the in-ring action and storyline development / progression. Ending the show with what will likely be the last title win in Sting's Hall of Fame storied career helped make this episode feel special. But the Bucks attacking the new champions right away also helped further their feud that will conclude at Revolution. However, the fight of the night was the one that opened the show. Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page added another great chapter to their ongoing story with a time limit draw that not only led to a triple threat bout for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship being booked, but also seemed to signal a potential double turn here, gentlemen. Heel turn for Hangman and a face turn for Swerve. Chris Jericho putting over Konosuke Takeshita by letting him use his own lion tamer to beat him was a huge sign of respect from the veteran. Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo continue to make their feud entertaining, and the feud between the CMLL and AEW could lead to something very exciting in the near future. This show had very few weak points and put the spotlight on the right people. Revolution is still several weeks away, but already has the potential to be a great pay-per-view, an early candidate for pay-per-view of the year in 2024. So nothing left for me to say on this. This is in excess of 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Fantastic show. The Dynamite of 2024. When I saw the loaded pay-per-view nature of this card, I said to myself, this is going to be a damn good show. This show is going to over-deliver. Yeah, it over-delivered, all right. 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for me. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock. Pay-per-view quality edition of AEW Dynamite on free television. How about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 8.5 to 9 as well. I mean, this almost had the feeling of a pay-per-view, and yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, kudos to AEW for what they did here tonight. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, wrap it up.
Half out of 10. So yeah, there's nothing more to say, and we're done. So Friday night, guys, it doesn't get any bigger than this. One of the biggest shows of the year for us in the TXN sports world. It is the preview of Super Bowl 58. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're gonna cut it down the only way we know how. The most extensive, the most jaw-dropping, the most insightful analysis of the game itself. Who we think is going to win? Who's going to be the MVP? And then some. Who do we like on each side of the ball? Offense, defense, special teams, coaching, X factors. You name it, we got it. We're covering it all. And for all you bookies out there, we're also going to give you a little extra something where maybe you might take a little bite. Might want to put down a couple of dollars for the game. So we'll do that. And then some. And then on Saturday, we do it all over again with a special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live and AEW Collision recap, and then Monday we do it all over again. We do it all over again for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. So, for Anthony Floyd, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Until then, guys, be a friend, tell a friend, say something nice. You can actually change their life. And until then, we'll see you all on Friday. Goodbye!